In this video, I'll explain to you how much it costs to go to Argentina. What are all the costs you need to calculate there to be able to make a very nice trip to Buenos Aires, hotel, travel insurance, cheap transportation, airfare, everything you need to know in a very quick and useful way without winding up, guys. So buckle up. Hey guys, for those who don't know me, I'm Gabriel Lorenzi from the Grupo Dicas, one of the largest travel content networks in the world, and today we are going to explain here step by step how much it costs for you to take a trip to Buenos Aires, Argentina, and enjoy everything you need to enjoy there. In two profiles, people will make the economic profile, that's the people who travel saving as much as possible on everything, as cheap as possible, and that profile that we call comfort, but it's not like that. It's a profile where it's still a cheap trip, but it's a more comfortable profile. For you who wants to stay in the coolest little hotel, we'll do more tours, enjoy the trip, more eating in a cooler restaurant, it's for you to have this idea of value in these two profiles. So let's go for the values. Important information about the season. The high season in Argentina is the winter months because of Bariloche. June, July, August, and December, January, which is the end of the year, are school vacations in most of the world. You will get some very high prices traveling the medium and low season. The prices are lower. In this video, this budget we did calculating for October, 7 days of traveling, so it's a full week, 7 full days in the month of average season, which is the very cool month to visit Buenos Aires. If you go in the high season months, you will have to pay about 20% more of that amount. I will show you here. I'll give more or less the value of the high, but let's focus now on the average season, which is what the largest portion there of tourists end up choosing for the trip, and in general is going to be much better. In this video, I'll focus on costs and values. I'm going to start talking only about the values. If you want to travel and want to know how to travel cheap, there is our video that calls how to travel to Argentina. Just type that on YouTube, it will already appear, or you will now at the end of the video in the last seconds. I'm going to highlight it here, you click on it, and there you learn how to plan the whole trip, saving as much as possible by hiring everything at the best prices. This video here will be exclusive for the values. So let's go, the spreadsheet here with the two columns, economic and comfort. This whole price that I'm going to put here is for one person. If you're traveling in two people, you multiply it by 2. With children, you calculate a little cheaper than that, but it's the value per person. So let's go there, starting with the airfare. The airfare, we found that an average of $320 the round trip flight. It was cheaper before, you could find promotions for less than that, but that was one of the values that increased a lot after the pandemic, so the values are higher and the ticket has become more expensive. This value is already a very good ticket. If you get this one, it's already great, but there are more expensive tickets, so do some research on the date of your trip. The good thing is that Buenos Aires has a lot of choice of flights. It has 2 airports, it has one that's closer to the city and one further away, so research a lot. The airfare tip, there is no secret, you have to research for the best price. And now let's talk about the hotel accommodation. For the economic profile, if you really want to save money, you stay in a very simple hotel yet in a nice location. A simple and economical hotel similar to the one in the photos that I'm putting here for you. Take a look at, because it was one of the ones that we stayed very cheap there. You will pay about $160 during your entire stay for one person. The 7 days of accommodation, $160. Now, if you want the same good location, which is Recoleta, for us it's the best neighborhood to stay in. The Recoleta neighborhood, we put here $240 in the comfort column, which is a cooler and more comfortable hotel. It has a nicer room service, a more spacious room. We loved it. It was a sensational hotel, well located, so take a look. But there are several options. You can save more than that, you can. If sometimes you get an Airbnb, which is renting a room, sometimes you can get a hostel, a hotel, there's everything, but the level will drop a lot. they will be much simpler and much cheaper. There's no way to get away from this price here. So here below you see that you have all the links, the best places for you to hire everything. If you start searching around in the traditional places on the travel agents websites and say, well, Gabriel, the price is getting higher, that's why. Guys, we already know where to search, we already know there it's cheaper. If you want to make a general quote for your trip, open this video later on your computer, open the links below, go looking for that's only good and cheap websites down there. Everything's listed. And people, take the opportunity to follow us on social networks that we are living in Orlando now. Now it's been a couple of years, we are showing all our life here. How is the adaptation in the United States? The girls, our daughters are a blast. The Disney parks that are next door, the trips we make all the time around the world. So here's the cool content. Follow us there, I think you're gonna like it. It's at Pai Lorenzi and at Livia de Lorenzi. Follow there, that I think you're gonna like it. And now let's talk about transportation. Guys, the transportation, I put $40 in the economic column. Those people who will focus more on the subway, you can walk a lot by subway in Buenos Aires, by bus. There are a lot of buses, and you will also have to spend a little bit with the transfer from the airport to the hotel. If it's Ezeiza, which is further away, you will have to spend a little more. Otherwise, it will be a little cheaper, but more or less per person, it's about $40. Being very economical there, using the subway, you can manage. And in the comfort zone, I put $60, which is a little more per person, so you can take an extra Uber. You can take about 4 Ubers there with that amount. If you don't want to ride the subway so much, you want to move around at night with Uber because you're more dressed up, you're going to dinner, you're going out, this value ends up covering a little bit of this Uber transportation. If you don't want to use the subway, people just use Uber because you're on vacation or because of the difficulty sometimes of riding the subway in the other country, you can put about $80 here per person. It will give you $140 the couple. You can manage well with Uber by being well located. That's why the hotel is very important when choosing. If you stay in a nice hotel, in a nice area, you end up being close to everything. And now the travel insurance. Guys who have not traveled abroad and do not yet have this experience, you have to take travel insurance. It's an international travel insurance. It's cheap and covers you for all the medical expenses you may have abroad, which are very expensive. So don't travel abroad without one. They are essential. In Europe, it's mandatory because it's so important. So make one. Here with a price comparator, a very good website that we know, that I'll leave the link here, is giving a nice travel insurance with medical assistance coverage of $30,000. If you have any problems, you're hospitalized, God forbid it happens, and a loss of luggage there of $1,000, the payment is only $20 per person, so it's very cheap, so be sure to take one. And now the chip. The travel chip is what will allow you to use your cell phone, the internet of the cell phone during your trip. Sometimes some operators do international roaming promotions, do some research, but it's usually the most expensive option. So what people do, buy a prepaid chip from Argentinian companies. Only they are companies that already sell everywhere in the world, so you can get there and use the internet easily. I put here $60, which is the plan that we have used the 2 times we went there. We always hire this one that has 2 gigabytes of internet, gives for 7 days easy. It costs $60 a chip that you will buy. At the time you already install it, they send you by email a QR code. It's super quick and easy, but there's also the option of going there on the spot and buying. It's a little cheaper, but you will have to travel, go to the store, or lose an hour or 2 of your trip. We always prefer to guarantee it beforehand. This is the price we usually pay for the tip, and it's very nice. And now food. Food is one of the most difficult to stipulate because each person spends a little. If you go to the market there in Buenos Aires to buy a lot of noodles, you can survive with $3 a day quietly. But we are here on a mission to make you not go through hardships and not to go through boring and tight situations there. So a value that we think is good there for you to have the economic profile, saving even, it's $15 a day per person, which gives a total of $100. This you buying one thing in another in the market, splitting a Pizza Hut there at night, going to cheap places, eating a snack, saving a little. If you want to go to the comfort profile, then I'll increase it to $25 per person per day, which gives a total of $180 for the 7 days of traveling. For those who want a nicer lunch, go to a steakhouse, a nice Argentinian restaurant, have wine and a drink at night in a nice place, an ice cream, you end up spending a little more, and that's the value. You can spend more if you do more expensive things and go to fancy restaurants, restaurants and you can spend less, but this is a value that I think gives a nice direction there for everyone who's going there and they are in doubt about the food. Food is very specific, it's different from each one, but that's the tip. And the tours, for those who want to save money, I put 0 because if you don't want to, you don't need to do any tours. You will be strolling through the parks of Buenos Aires that are beautiful, the cemetery of Recoleta, there is Palermo, the neighborhoods, there are several things. The pink house, you go there and you don't pay anything just to look at it, take pictures at the obelisk. There are several cool things to do that are not paid, but we recommend that you do at least some tours that are very cool. I will put here in the comfort column $80, which is the value for you to do about 3-4 cool tours, which are the Tigre River tour, which is very close to Buenos Aires. It's very beautiful and very cool. The Boca Juniors Museum, the La Bombonera Stadium tour, which is very cool too. It's worth it. And a tango dinner, a nice dinner with a very classic Argentinian tango show. You can buy all of this. I'll also leave the website that sells tickets and tours for a very good price. It's the cheapest place of all. Take a look there. You can research better and understand which tours you would like to do, but in general $80. You already do at least 3 of these tours that are totally worth it. You have a lot of options, so you can take a look there and choose which one is best. And that's the final amount, guys. We have the total of $700 in the economic profile and the comfort profile $950. It used to be possible to travel with less than that, but costs have really increased. Everything in the world has increased, the dollar has increased, so these tourism things have really increased. This is a value, I think it's very real, it's realistic for you not to go through any hardship there on your trip. And that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, please don't forget to give us that like and subscribe to the channel because it really helps us a lot. And be sure to watch the other videos that are very cool. I'll leave here in highlights people how to travel cheap to Argentina. It's a sensational video that will teach you how to set up your entire trip with the main tips and spending as little as possible on everything. Take a look, that's very good. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much and have nice trips.